Hello there everybody, so Butter Knight Gamer and welcome back to Fata Morgana. In the last episode we learned possibly one of the more horrifying truths. I say more horrifying as I cannot finally say that it is the most because I'm expecting much worse things to probably happen. Yeah, basically we learned a very horrifying truth that Giselle had wanted to keep hidden. Damn! That's just fucked up. Wait, 13 slots, really? Holy crap, I've saved a lot. Okay. The end of me. Also, that image was really fucked up. Or terrifying. There we go. And that, I was sure, was the end of me. I am, even now, putting her through a harrowing experience. Digging up the memories she locked away. The past she wanted to pretend never happened. I'm not even a minute in, I'm actually about a minute in and I fucked up. And laying it all out before her once more. But I must get her back to who she once was. Even if it means forcing her to endure this. She must remember everything. Because I need to know. Why did she become the maid? And what secrets does this house hold? You're... Michelle? Yes. My name is Michelle. I am not the white-haired girl. The person you're searching for was the man who once hurt you deeply. Me. Why? What was her why referring to? Why I hurt her? Or why I'm here? Or perhaps, why I didn't show up until now? Not having an answer for her, I clench her cold hands in mine. I wonder, were her hands this cold that night too? There's still more we need to see though. And it's still too soon for me to apologize. When she's gotten everything back, only then can I. Once she's reclaimed herself, that is when I must tell her. Now, let us return to our past. Our story has only just begun. No matter what we thought or what we desired, no matter what we lost or how much pain we suffered, we must not shut this door. Perfect darkness embraces us once more. I can see nothing, not even the woman beside me. But I shall not let go of her hand. I do not want her to slip away from me. I do not want to lose her. Damn. Well... Huh? What the... What? What the? Stay with me! Are you alright? Who the hell's speaking? Oh, thank goodness you're awake. How's your head? Can you see me?
What?
You had me scared silly there. I have no idea who the hell it's, if it's a good or if it's a guy or a girl, I don't know. I thought I might have lost you for good. I'm really glad you're alive.
Where am I? And who...
Oh, it is a man, okay.
And who is this man? What was I doing?
You feeling up for any food? I can whip up some good porridge for you right quick.
I was in the forest. It was raining. Before that, I was at the mansion. I feel sick.
I bet you do.
No, thank you. I don't want anything.
You really should have something. You need to keep up your energy. Unless you want to conk out again in an hour.
Sounds good to me. I'd rather never wake up at all.
You're not in the highest of spirits either, it seems. All the more reason to get something warm in you. Please, have something. I've got some milk on the fire. They can handle a couple of that. A cup of more milk? Wouldn't that put her to sleep, though? I know I have to use that to help me get to sleep sometimes. You start losing all hope once the cold gets that deep in you, reaches down to your core. Take me at my word, please. Just one sip. You feel like a whole new gal. A heart-wrenchingly pleasant aroma wafted up from the steam from within the wooden cup. Succumbing to the sweet smell, I lifted the cup to my lips for just one sip, and the warmth that spread through my body brought tears to my eyes. Perhaps there really was kindness in the world. A ripple spread across the surface of the milk. I heard a gentle sigh come from the man beside me, after which he said with a smile, "You should take it easy for the day." I had lost the willpower to think about anything. I didn't care what happened to me or why I was here, who he was, or even where this was. I spent the whole day in bed, just watching the sun slowly slide across the wooden floor. It felt like I was somewhere far, far away. At times, I felt like a lost child, and at times like a sickly old woman on her deathbed. Watching the sun travel gave me a renewed awareness of the passage of time, and the fact that each moment that went by was another moment I was alive. I realized then that it had been a while since I had gotten more than a brief glimpse at any sunlight. It almost surprised me how colorful the world seemed beneath the sun's light, something I didn't get much of in the dark mansion. Only after losing something do you realize how much you need it. Warm milk, the light shining through the window, and a bed that smelled like springtime. With those three things, my heart slowly began to defrost, and I started to regain the willpower to stand on my own 2 feet.
Thank you for everything.
You sure you're in any shape to be on your feet?
Yes, I'm fine. I'm not hurt.
You looked pretty beat up to me. But you look a lot better now. And you're talking a lot more clearly than before.
You've been very generous despite having never met me before. And for that, you have my deepest gratitude. Without your help, I would no longer be in this world.
I don't deserve your thanks. You're alive now because God's guidance made it so.
God.
I came across you early this morning as I was heading into the forest to hunt. Imagine my surprise seeing a young lady like you on the ground in my path. What were you doing in the forest? You don't have to tell me if you'd rather not. Everyone's got their own share of personal problems.
You're not going to demand I talk?
I have no reason to force you to do anything. You look like you've been to hell and back.
What?
I could tell just by looking at you. Now then, do you have somewhere you can go?
Somewhere to go? Of course I don't. I can't go back to the capital or the mansion.
If not, then why don't you stay here?
Here?
Sure, it's a small village. We're self-sufficient, and we all help each other out. No tax-hungry lords know we built the place up either, so we keep everything we make. We're pretty remote as a result, and the horse isn't fantastic, but I'm sure you'll find it comfortable here. The rest of the villagers will be glad to have you. What do you say?
Sorry, Mom. What I'm about to do might make the rest of the family's lives more difficult, but I don't want to have to feel any more pain. If I really wouldn't be inconveniencing you, if it's really okay, then yes, I would like to stay here.
It's great to hear. I was loath to send you back out there in your current condition. I haven't introduced myself yet, have I? The name's Amedea. How the hell do I pronounce that? Amedea? Can I pronounce... Is that it? Amedea? Amede. It's Amede. I don't know, Amedea. Can somebody please tell me how to pronounce that? I don't think I've ever in my entire life seen a name like that. Just one lowly villager of many.
I'm Giselle.
Giselle? That's a beautiful name. If I'm not mistaken, there should be a vacant house. Clean it up and you can call it home.
I couldn't possibly ask for that. I doubt others would like it if I just took a house for myself.
That shouldn't be an issue. I'm the village's representative, more or less.
Representative? Like the chief?
Only in name, though. As I mentioned, we're not on any lord's maps, so I don't have much representing to do. The only reason I ended up in charge is because I'm a bit more educated than anyone else. It was a long time ago, but I understudied with the priest. Because of that, I'm familiar with the Bible's teachings. So, rather than a chief, the people of the village look at me more like a priest. Wouldn't be much fun if the church found out about that. They're liable to think I'm acting unordained.
Then you believe in God?
That's quite the question. Of course God exists. He's always watching over us. That's why you survived. Because he protected you. I understand that your faith can waver when you're going through times of tribulation. But those are the times when it's most important you keep sight of who you are. A priest. Huh.
Right.
Now, you get some rest. Tomorrow I'll show you around the village.
Thank you. I truly mean it. I really sincerely appreciate everything.
Don't mention it, Giselle. This is your village now, too, so you don't need to act like a stranger anymore.
Okay.
Huh.
So he's Amadea. He seems like a nice man. Maybe here, I can live in peace. It'll be alright, I'm sure. Yeah. I wasn't silly enough to believe my life would be perfect, but I'd found a tiny fragment of my lost hope. While I'd once been ready to give up on absolutely everything, I was starting to feel like I might be able to smile again. Eventually. Like I might be able to get back on my feet. In order to do that, I had to cast aside my past once more. Forget everything that had happened at the Bollinger estate, and everything that had happened at the mansion. Forget about Michel. There was one niggling curiosity, though, that I couldn't shake. Something he had said before I left.
My very existence threatens to tear down that house. The cursed youngest son of the Bollinger family. Michel, who had made a pact with the devil. Who is supposed to be dead, but is very much alive.
What had he meant by that? Why would people think he was dead? No, I don't care about Michel one bit. Forget it. Forget everything.
Damn. Wait, we're going back to him? The house was, as it had always been, wrapped in a thick silence. Giselle's shadow, which had been lurking in the halls for about a month, was nowhere to be found. She hadn't come back since running off that day. My secret was still safe. Her efforts had, in the end, all been for naught. Back to the way things were. But despite my mind telling me that it was for the best, I felt a kind of guilt seething in the back of my chest. And any attempts to figure out why only made me feel worse. But the look on her face then.
Please, hear me out. I didn't know anything about you. I wasn't sniffing around or trying to bring you harm in any way.
Was that really her just putting on an act because I revealed her scheming? She was screaming, though. And she looked genuinely terrified when she knocked my hand away. I'm not falling for anything. I feel like I know that frenzied panic. Something doesn't add up. Be quiet. Silence, please. My head was pounding beyond belief. I couldn't stand anything. This world, the creature I was, the witches whispering. The archangel looking down upon me seemed to be cackling from somewhere far out of reach. So for whatever it was worth, to escape from his gaze, I once again drew the drapes over the stained glass window.
Whoa, it's...
I have no idea if this is a boy or a girl, so... Whoa, it's someone there!
Hey, where are you from? You gonna be here long? Are you?
Ugh. We hardly ever get visitors here, so they're downright awestruck by you. You'll be getting a lot of attention for a little bit. Please don't let it get to you.
No, that's just fine. I'll do my best to get along with everyone.
You got a spark in you that wasn't there yesterday. Anything in particular that cheered you up?
In particular? Well, once I decided I was going to stay here, I just sort of started feeling better about things. And I figured I couldn't stay gloomy forever.
I see. I'm glad to hear it.
It's all thanks to you, Amadea.
Keep thanking me like that, and my cheeks might get stuck red. In any event, I said I'd show you around yesterday, so how about we do that?
Lead the way!
That said, we're a modest little village of about 100. Everyone knows everyone.
For that size, it looks pretty big to me. Amadea is taking the lead. We walk through the village, passing by crop fields and milk cows, presumably shared among the villagers. Houses were scattered across an area that seemed far too large for only 100 people. Actually, getting a better look at them, the buildings were dilapidated, looking more like ruins than residences.
Once upon a time, this was a city rather than a village.
When your ancestors lived here?
Oh, no. We were drifters fortunate enough to come across some decent-looking land, so we stuck around.
How do you know what it was like before then?
There are a few stone tablets left behind, and based on what we were able to extract from their texts, this area used to be a large city with a booming economy rivaling that of the capital. There weren't hundreds, but thousands of people bustling about. Merchants from afar came in droves. It was much like how the capital is now. Actually, this area was more open to foreigners. People of all different races, speaking as many different languages. It was evidently quite the sight and sound.
I had no idea there was a city here.
That's what happens when a place is wiped from history. I couldn't tell you how reliable the tablets are, but if you take them at their word, the city lost everything in just a single week.
What?
People, crops, livestock, all dead. Maybe it was a natural disaster, a famine, a plague. I can't say for sure. This is what the tablets said, though. We have been cursed by the witch.
Cursed by the witch.
Look over there. You see that river? There used to be a magnificent bridge crossing it, but there's hardly anything left of it. If you continue along the path beyond the fallen bridge is a forest. That's where I found you. The deeper parts of the forest are so dense you can't see anything but tree trunks and leaves. It's an eerie place, wrapped in a cloud of darkness. If you make it through that, there's a mansion, which is said to be cursed. The witch who supposedly destroyed this city lives in the house deep in the forest. She's been there for years and years and years, and she casts her curse upon anyone who goes near it. The city was so large that the mansion was actually in its borders. My guess is the bridge was built to mark the road leading to it. Now, as you can see, the bridge is gone and the house is still standing or practically in ruins. But the mansion alone looks just as it did back then. The witch living in the mansion goes by the name Morgana. According to the records, someone by that same name was executed in this area for witchcraft. And even in death, she continues to bear her grudge against mankind. Who knows how much of it is true, though? Truth or fiction, the story has taken root in this region. The city's history may be lost, but the legend of the witch continues to be told. People have a tendency to keep stories alive that scare them. Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to disturb you.
No, I'm fine.
You're best staying away from from the mansion in the forest, at any rate. There's no saying what might happen if curiosity gets the better of you. Better safe than sorry, if you ask me. Aside from the mansion, this is as peaceful a village as you'll find. I don't know where you came from, but I'm glad you didn't end up wandering there.
I know all about the mansion and who lives there. I was there, after all, with Michelle for a full month. But I don't remember any cursed witch. Just a man with a bone-chilling glare. Maybe the rumors about a witch living there were spread by him, or perhaps even his family. I could see them doing that, but none of that matters to me anymore. I'm never going anywhere near that house again. The witch's curse, Michelle, they're nothing to me. With nowhere else to go, I ended up in this small village. There was no denying that there was very little to speak of here. But I found peace in that nothingness. I couldn't have been more blessed that such a kind man had found me and welcomed me into this village. The village ran entirely on its own crops and livestock. They had no currency, merely bartered among themselves. Coming from a merchant's family, everything felt so new. I'd never plowed a large plot of land, milked a cow, or used a loom before. At first, I wasn't sure what to think, being such a departure from my lifestyle in the capital. But over time, I grew more comfortable with my new life, and the people of the village started thinking me as one of them. Come on, Giselle, come play with us! We're playing hide and seek today! Sorry, I'm spinning yarn. You can do that later! Come on!
Play with us!
Why does that child have such a terrifying voice? Dad, stop that! Don't pull on my skirt! Alright, you win. When I'm done with this, I'll join you. And no ditching! We'll be down at the square, okay? Got it. See you there.
The kids have taken quite a liking to you.
Amadea. You think so?
They've been incredibly lively since you arrived. Children are more sensitive than adults.
Sensitive?
They're very perceptive of how others are feeling. If you begrudgingly play along, they'll pick up on that quickly. You like children, and that's a wonderful thing. There's not a good woman in the world who dislikes children.
Why, thank you. I don't think it's so much that I like them, as I'm kind of like a big kid myself. I genuinely enjoy hide and seek, but that's not going to earn me any points.
I like kids too. Watching them, it gives me faith that this world has a bright future.
A bright future. I never looked at them that way. They seem to like you quite a bit too, Amadea.
Thanks. Though I'd rather give my affection to my own kids.
Oh? You have children?
Oh no! Heavens no! I thought that was obvious enough. I'm talking about the future.
I see. But knowing you, Amadea, I'm sure you'll find someone right for you and have kids of your own in no time.
It's not that easy, sadly. Even in such a small village, there are no ladies who would take interest in me.
You don't give yourself enough credit. I'm fully confident you'll find someone soon enough.
Do you really think so?
Absolutely.
Then perhaps you could be that person.
What? Pardon?
I won't pressure you into it, of course. But I think it would be marvelous to have you in my life in a bigger way.
But it's a little soon for me to think about settling down like that.
It is pretty sudden, I admit. Take all the time you need to consider it.
Alright. I have to go play with the kids now. Have fun.
Huh.
I wonder if he really meant it. Amadea is a nice fellow, and I'm sure living here would be wonderful. But I can't help feeling something isn't right here.
Oh. Okay. Why did that get that cold chill down my spine again?
Why am I thinking about him, now of all times? That man has no redeemable qualities, not one. As it turned out, Amadea was serious about his proposition, and he brought it up every time we ran into each other. Unable to give him an answer, I found myself constantly apologizing to him. Soon, winter started giving way to spring. On a day when the air still had a brisk winter bite and budding seedlings battled to break through the earth, the seams holding the village together began to come loose. That day, the village men were gathered in the square talking. They all had stern looks on their faces. It was clear that something had happened. I obviously couldn't stick my head in, so I waited until they were done and caught Amadea. While it was rather awkward, I was still more comfortable asking him for information than anyone else.
Actually...
With a dejected look on his face, he started explaining.
A lord found out about this village.
What?
And he said he's going to place this land under his rule, meaning he'll start collecting taxes. In addition, he's also demanding we pay 5 years' worth of back taxes for our unauthorized use of the land. Oh, fuck!
What? That's ridiculous!
Yes, it most certainly is. We obviously don't have the means to pay 5 years' taxes. There's no reason for him to take over this village at all. We're completely isolated from the surrounding area, after all. But if we resist, he could send soldiers. It doesn't matter how absurd his claim to the village is. We have no choice but to comply.
That's terrible. What are we going to do then?
We're going to do as the Lord demands. The 5 years' taxes will have to be paid in installments. Some of the men suggested we abandon the land and find somewhere else. But it would take time to cultivate the land and plant new crops. It's no trivial task. We'll just have to make do with these changes. We'll use more of the land to grow and try to be more efficient. Will you help in the fields?
Of course! This village is my home now, too.
Thank you, Giselle. It will be difficult, but if we all pitch in, I'm sure we can get through this.
I thought the same thing. If we all work together, we could make it through this rough patch. But the collection of taxes brought more than just a burden for everyone to share. It brought emotional strain and conflict to the village, too.
Your family has more hands to work the fields. I have a sickly child. You expect him to work any harder than he is? I know you're hiding grain in your cellar. You have more than us. Let us keep a little grain.
You have more!
No, you have more! You both have more than us!
When their comfortable lives fell under attack, the villagers' top priority became their own property. The cooperation was only temporary, and before long, everyone became a threat. The negative energy only built on itself, its growth accelerating like a boulder rolling down a hill, and it wasn't long before their sights fell on me, the outsider.
Come on, get moving!
Ow! Stop that! Why are you doing this?
I'll stomp once you've told us everything!
Told you every... What? One morning, a man dragged me from my house and took me to the square. There, the entire rest of the village was gathered, all eyes on me. What? What's this about?
Oh, don't play stupid. We all know it was you.
What was me?
The thief.
Medea? From the crowd appeared someone I knew quite well. The ever-affable village representative. The man who had saved my life. But in his eyes now...
I thought you were better than that.
Was contempt. Anger. Scorn. So many different shades of negativity. I recognized what I saw in his glare immediately, as someone who had been subjected to those looks before. But why? For what reason was he looking at me like that? I couldn't make sense of what was happening, so I just stood there stupefied.
There's been a rise in reports of people having things stolen lately. This village is too small to attract bandits, though. Since the Lord now demands we pay him taxes, even the smallest item lost can have a dramatic impact on a family's living conditions. What you've done is no joke.
Well, wait just a second! I haven't stolen anything! Why do you think
You've been seen in the act.
What?
So long as there is testimony against you, your guilt is assured.
What? Who says they saw me? I swear I didn't do anything! They're obviously lying! You're the one who's lying. You've been playing us for fools this whole time!
Everything was fine until you showed up. We managed not to get found out until you showed up.
No, that's not my fault.
Giselle, apologize to the village and return what you've taken.
Amadea, don't you believe me?
There were multiple witnesses. Several different people saw you stealing. I've known these people long enough to be family, and I trust them like family too. They're not liars.
But no, they're framing me! I didn't steal anything, I swear!
Framing you? Now you want to put this on us, woman?
Unbelievable. Have you forgotten we welcomed you into our village? Amadea, please believe me. You of all people should believe me.
You've been avoiding me of late, haven't you?
What?
Because you had something to hide, correct?
No,
What other reason could you have to avoid me?
Why? How can he say these things? Why won't he believe me?
Now, Return the things you've stolen.
I can't! I never stole anything! How am I supposed to return something I don't have?
I see. So you've already moved the stolen goods. She says she doesn't have them anymore, folks. How should we deal with this? Rough her up till she talks.
Yeah, she's not getting off that easy.
Oh, fuck all of you guys! Give us back our property!
Why is this happening to me? The harsh new rulership has driven these people mad. I need to get away from this village quick.
Restrain her!
No, get your hands off me!
Have you forgotten everything we've done for you? All that matters is that you don't have to suffer. Is that it?
I didn't do anything!
Take her to my house. We'll make her tell us everything.
No, stop, you've all gone mad! Please, come to your senses!
Oh, Jesus Christ!
With men on all four sides of me, I was dragged into Amadea's house. He sat coolly in a chair and they shoved me to my knees before him.
I'll ask you this one more time, Giselle. Where did you put the things you stole?
And I'll keep giving you the same answer. I didn't take anything from anyone! Please believe me!
Do you swear with God as your witness?
I do! I swear with all my heart!
You don't actually believe her, do you, Amadea? She not only sold us out to a lord, she's now threatening to make our lives downright impossible.
Again, that's just a coincidence! Listen to me, Amadea.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the woman hath committed 3 sins. She has lied, she has stolen, and she has betrayed her fellow man.
Why are you doing this, Amadea? You were such a good man!
I'm deeply disappointed in you, Giselle. As much as I don't want to do this, I have to get the truth from you.
Amadea... Of course. Why didn't I see it? I'm still just an outsider to them. Why would he believe a stranger's word over the word of the village, his family?
The water.
What?
What the hell's going on?
A man set a wooden well bucket on the floor in front of me. And it wasn't clean water from the well, though, but grimy, murky wastewater. I reflexively turned my head from the stench, but a man behind me grabbed me by the hair. And before I had a chance to realize what was happening, the world around me went oh my...
I think I'm gonna throw up.
I struggled with all my might to break free, but my arms were tied behind my back, and I didn't have the strength to overpower the man holding my head down. Reflexively gasping for air, a stream of filthy water poured into my mouth.
Pull her out. We get nothing if she dies. Put her back in. And keep at it until she decides she's ready to talk.
No!
I'm gonna throw up!
God!
How unsightly. And to think I ever considered marrying this woman.
Stop!
We can stop whenever you want, Giselle. You just have to tell us the truth.
Please? Stop! I was given no time to rest. My head shoved into the bucket, then pulled out just long enough for me to steal a breath before going back in over and over again. Not a person in that room objected to the abuse I was receiving. I had prayed for a good harvest with these people. They had taught me how to use a loom, something I'd never touched before. We had laughed together, lived together. They were normal people. Perfectly ordinary, kind, helpful, friendly people. Not at all cruel or inhumane, but now they burned with the frenzy that overshadowed all my memories of them, and every gargle, gasp, and grunt they got from me fueled that fire. Dozens of eyes laced with madness stared down upon me, rejoicing at my suffering. My conscience was slipping away from me. I thought I could hear laughing and chattering, but it all passed through my ears as mere noise, nothing I could make sense of.
Wait with... Stay with me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank goodness you're awake.
Wait, what was I just doing? All right, I was in the forest on the verge of death, then Amadea found me and...
We almost lost valuable manpower there. We were just discussing what to do about you, Giselle, and we decided to make you village property.
No, he didn't save me!
If you agree to work for us, we'll put this whole nasty mess behind us. You may be worthless in the fields and terrible at the loom, but there's plenty you can help with.
What are you going to make me do?
You like to get your hands dirty, and considering I found you half dead in the forest, I doubt the rest of you is any cleaner. Oh no. Seems we've come to an agreement. I'll keep watch over her starting today, to make sure she stays in line and doesn't steal anything else.
Dirty. Stays in line. The way they're looking at me. They didn't have to spell it out. No. Anything but that. Please have mercy.
If you're begging for mercy, that means you know you've done something wrong. Let's see. There is one way, Giselle.
What?
Give back what you stole, naturally. But if you're going to insist that's not possible, then bring us something of equal value. And if you can't do that, then your life belongs to the village.
The men were cackling. They knew I couldn't do it, and they were enjoying watching me squirm.
Take your pick, Giselle.
Something of equal value. If I can get that, then you'll set me free. In that moment, a little bit of darkness bubbled up in my heart. Something maleficent whispered in my ear.
If you're in need of money, help yourself to some of the furniture. There's a village not far from here. Trade it for food, then make your way to a larger town.
I think I know where you can get something worth some money. The mansion in the forest has some fairly valuable furniture in it. Oh God, when did I become... You can steal some of that to sell for good money. Such a despicable woman.
You mean the cursed mansion? You expect us to go there? Are you out of your mind? Anyone who goes near that house is killed by the witch's curse.
There is no witch living there. There is no curse.
Giselle, what do you know about that mansion?
I lived there for a while. Well, for a month.
You what?
The son of a noble lives there. He's human and he's alone.
A noble? What's a noble boy doing this far from the city?
I presume he was banished there. I was sent to the mansion from the capital to act as his servant. There was plenty of value in the house. Shelves lined with books. There should be more than enough to pay the Lord 5 years' worth of taxes.
Is what you're saying true?
I would not lie. As bewilderment spread through Amadea's house, I was unable to look at anything but the floor. I couldn't stop trembling. To protect myself, I had sold out Michelle.
You swear there's just a single man living in that house?
Yes, it's only him.
Alright. If it turns out you're lying, you pay. Okay, everyone, you heard her. Tell all the young men to get ready. We're going up to the mansion in the forest. And just to be safe, make sure everyone brings something they can use as a weapon. And you, Giselle? You're coming with us. You'll be leading the way. Listen to me. Don't think about trying to run.
Right.
Oh God, I hate everything.
On the cusp of springtime, I found myself trekking through the dreary forest I had thought I would never set foot in again. How had I ended up here? How come I never managed to avoid getting myself in these situations? And who would have guessed that my reason for returning to the mansion would be to loot it? I prayed for God to show even a little mercy and ensure Michelle wasn't around, though I knew the chances of that happening were almost zero. After several hours of walking, we broke through the thick woods and the mansion appeared before us. Like its surroundings, the house was bleak and uninviting. Even the midday sun seemed disinterested in shining its light upon it. Despite on the surface there not being much of anything impressive about it, the entire mob stood speechless before its overwhelming presence. But the men had weapons, and they were fueled by avarice, which gave them the courage to approach this place they wouldn't normally otherwise.
Door won't open. I think it's barred from the inside. It would seem someone really does live in this cursed place. I'm honestly surprised. Even more so that it's not a witch, but just a noble. The door's old, we could break it down.
Yeah, let's bust it down. Hold on, there's no need to be barbaric. Did you even consider knocking on the door like normal people? You sound like a band of thieves.
Huh, that's something else coming from you. Who do you think proposed this plan, Giselle?
You.
Alright, men, you ready for lives of luxury? Break down that door.
Stop it.
It's the damn nobles who make our lives so hard.
They deserve to be robbed.
Break it! Break down the door!
Please stop this!
Break it down.
Break it down.
Break it down!
Stop! Oh boy, what's going to happen? All their repressed emotions detonated. They battered the door again and again and again. And in a few minutes' time, it was on the verge of collapse. They shouted and cheered and hooted like madmen as my peaceful life came crumbling down around me. Growing lightheaded from the anxiety, I squeezed my eyes shut, unable to bear it any longer, when the deep groan of a door opening echoed through the forest.
It would seem you're not aware whose house you're trying to break into. Oh.
The world went silent, like time had come to a stop. No one could manage to say a word, only stare at the man who had appeared from within the mansion.
Surely you know what this place is called.
Beneath the dazzling midday sun, he had bone-chillingly alabaster skin and long, nearly translucently pale hair.
So surely you came prepared for whatever you would find.
And his eyes
Whoa.
were like two blazing infernos staring out across the mob.
A demon!
Someone muttered, probably unconsciously. He did indeed look like something not of this world.
It's a demon! The rumors about this place were true! The cursed demon lives here!
Demon? Him? Michelle? No, he's not Kurt!
Indeed, I am cursed. The witch's curse is real. I've inherited it in its entirety, as well as her purpose. A witch, a demon, a spirit impure. Call me whatever you wish, for the truth shall not change. I carry within me an eternal curse. Behold my flesh, pale as the moon. No red blood flows beneath this skin, as it does yours. Behold my hair, utterly devoid of color, offered up to the devil as part of our pact. Behold these crimson eyes, a symbol of the lifeblood spilt at my hands. I shall bring calamity upon you as the witch of legend. Never-ending famine, plague, catastrophe, suffering for generations. Until the moment of your deaths, you shall regret ever coming near this place.
No! Have mercy! We were just...
It was that woman! She brought us here, tempted us with promises of wealth, deceived us, told us to pillage his house. We're innocent!
Amadea!
Please have mercy on us! Give her to me, then, as an offering. Absolutely, she's yours! To torture her however you please! I have one more condition. You never come near this house again. If you so much as consider it, you will all die by my curse. I swear we won't return! Run, get out of here! Damn, Michelle!
Without so much as a glance back, the villagers scrambled into the forest, and Amadea, the man who had rescued me that night, went right along with them. Is there kindness in the world? I wasn't sure what to think anymore.
Don't think I'm helping you.
His voice rained down on me, but I couldn't lift my head. There was such a gaping void in my chest. I had no idea what questions I should be asking anymore. What I should be angry about. What I should be sad about. Not even the first clue.
Look at me. Look at me, Giselle! Tell me, is it true that you returned to the mansion to plunder it? That you brought these men here to rob me of my valuables? Answer me, Giselle!
Yes, it's true. I persuaded them to steal from you.
Are you really so desperate for money that you resort to looting? Just how low will you go? Not only did you seduce my father, not only did you go digging around for information about me, you brought a mob to this house? And they were armed too. Were you trying to get me killed? Answer me, Giselle! Not even going to defend yourself? Your scheme failed, so you're retreating into silence. Ah, for God's sake, you sicken me. I'm done with you! I'm done! Leave this place and never show your face here again!
As he shouted at me and I stared into his fiery red eyes, a somewhat inappropriate thought cursed my mind. Huh, so you can get emotional like anyone else. And my heart, stripped raw and cast out to sea, finally sunk deep enough to be crushed by the pressure. Me.
What?
If you want me gone, then kill me. You can do that, can't you? You can use your curse to kill me, can't you? Then do it, right here. Use your power. Take my life. And if you don't want to do that, stab me with your knife. Kill me, kill me, kill me!
What?
I'm done. I can't take it. I'm through with this whole world. No one will believe anything I say. No one cares one bit about how I feel. They just walk all over me laughing. Why? Tell me why. Why is this happening to me? I never stole anything.
What are you talking about?
I tried my best to look happy. I thought everything would work out if I could keep smiling. I believed that would make things better. But nothing ever got better. What did I ever do? Tell me. What did I do?
But you...
All I ever did was believe. Tried my best to survive, to always wear a smile. But if everything's going to be my fault, and I have to deal with that for the rest of my life, then I'm done. I don't want to live anymore. I don't want to live in this world anymore.
Calm down, please. I don't follow what you're saying. My understanding is that you desired money, so you brought that mob. And before that, you used my father.
You wouldn't believe me even if I told you the real story. You'll take your family's word over mine. You don't have any idea what I went through there. How hard it was just to keep myself together. I never wanted riches. All I wanted was a decent enough wage to allow my family to live comfortably. That's all I wanted, but that man, he used my family against me. He made me... forced me to... He raped me!
What?
Again and again. No matter how much I resisted, he wouldn't stop again and again. He threatened me, beat me, cut me with a knife, over and over and over again.
What? My father raped you?
No one would believe me. I did nothing wrong. You don't believe me either, do you? So I'm done. I don't want this body anymore. I don't want to live like this anymore. I can't take it anymore. Help me, please. Set me free. Kill me. Kill me already. Use your curse and kill me. Kill me!
Give me a moment. I need time to process this.
You can do it, can't you? Then kill me already. Kill me. Kill me now. Kill me, damn it!
Give me time so we can talk this through. I want to hear everything from the beginning. Inside. Let's go inside and talk. The light hurts my eyes. Holy shit! That was a door I might have best let stay shut. Not knowing the truth would have been so much easier. I wouldn't have been made to shudder in disgust, hearing about the crimes of my own family. But if I hadn't opened that door, I would have lost everything. That day, after far too long, I finally let myself see the person in Giselle. Took you long enough. Giselle didn't recover for some time after I managed to get her inside. Unsure what else I could do for her, I had her sit before the fireplace and waited in silence as she sobbed. I had no idea what one was supposed to say to someone who was crying. Was it normal to offer them a warm drink? I didn't know. I did know I needed to reflect on the things she had said outside and try to make sense of them. And from there, calm myself down and prepare for the conversation we were to have, as unpleasant as I was sure it would be. A considerable amount of time later, Giselle's sobbing drew to a stop, an oppressive silence stepping in to take its place. For far longer than was comfortable, the only sound we heard was the gentle crackling of the fire. I had to say something. I knew that. But what I didn't know was how to begin. I knew nothing about having an honest face-to-face discussion with someone about the things we were thinking and feeling. But that didn't change anything. I had to do it. Even if down that road lay truths I would be happier not seeing. Giselle. Could you please tell me what you did... No. What was done to you at my family's home? How you ended up coming to this mansion, and what happened after you left. I would like to know everything, from start to finish.
Will you believe what I tell you? You never so much as gave me the time of day before. And I very much doubt you will find what I have to say agreeable. Will you still believe me, even then? Believe my word? A stranger's word? Over your family? Or the people of the village?
I cannot yet say. I must hear what you have to say to make that decision.
I suppose that might be better than you saying you believe me unconditionally. All right. I'll tell you everything. Just know that nothing I say is a lie.
Understood. Giselle methodically recounted her tale for me. She told me of how she accepted an offer from the Bollingers to work as an abigail to earn money for her family. Of how my father, Antonin, had other plans for her. Of the things he did to her. She spoke dryly, simply putting words to each event, one after the other. I'd already seen how she felt deep down, though. I'd heard her pain screams, which were undoubtedly genuine. I didn't think she was trying to deceive me. That was the sound of old wounds being torn open, and even I could see that. Or perhaps my own experiences were that allowed me to see it. Regardless, I had realized too late. I should have seen it sooner. She described it mechanically to remain detached from what had happened to her, to protect herself. Of that, I had no doubts. Still, the things she told me were almost unbearable, and I had a difficult time accepting them. What was I supposed to do? When I learned my father was a rapist, how was I supposed to react to that revelation? What was I supposed to think about the fact that his blood flowed through me? I repulsed myself.
Do you want all the details?
What do you mean?
Of the wounds he gave me. I still have scars from the things he did. If you don't believe me, I can show them to you.
No. That won't be necessary.
I see. That's a relief. I don't think I could have handled that right now.
I hadn't turned down her offer for her sake. I only did so because I didn't think I could take any more. I averted my eyes to protect myself. Why had I taken my mother's word, brushing aside everything Giselle had said and done? I knew good and well my mother was no longer in her right mind. So why had I thought her letter the truth? Why had I been unable to think rationally? There were, I believe, several factors. My childhood, my past, the witch's whispers, and above all, my own character, consumed with distrust for everything. I had to face it now, to open my eyes once more, to look at everything I had pretended away until now. I was not completely blameless for her suffering after all. Please continue, if you will.
I left off at the point where the mistress discovered what was happening, I believe. I was sent to this mansion to atone for my sins.
Sins that she didn't even commit.
It was decided I would be sent here rather than being executed, which is what the mistress wanted. At first I assumed it would be essentially a private prison, but in the carriage on the way here I was given a letter.
A letter? From whom?
It didn't say, but your father was the one who ordered me here, so I would guess it was him. The letter was very concise, simply explained that there was someone already there. The Bollinger's youngest child. It didn't go into any more detail than that, but it did ask me to look after you.
Do you still have the letter?
I don't. The coachman took it back after I was finished. Thinking back on it now, that was rather strange of him to do. It was just a harmless letter.
It was anything but.
What?
It wasn't my father who wrote that letter. He believes me to be dead, so he would have sincerely thought he was banishing you to an empty house in a remote forest. The writer couldn't risk leaving anything that might suggest I was still alive.
Then who?
My brother, I believe. Either Didier or Georges, but I would guess Didier.
Your brother? Why would he?
I do not know. I can't imagine why he would write such a letter, or why he would want to tell you about me.
I don't believe he had any ill intentions, at least. I mean, he asked me to look after you. That makes it sound like he's concerned about you.
Then why doesn't he stay in contact? Why does he never respond to my letters? It's a bit late to suddenly start being concerned. No. Never mind that now. Please, tell me the rest.
All right.
Giselle resumed her story from the day she fled the mansion, terrified by my behavior. She seemed to be putting a bit more emotion in her tone of voice now, perhaps because she could see I was more interested in this part. There was a deep sadness on her face as she described that night in the rain, listening to the thunder when she gave up on living. And I knew I had caused it. She then told me of the time she spent in the nearby village, how at first life had seemed wonderful, but in time it had come crumbling down. Naturally, she wouldn't be here to tell me this if nothing had happened there. Once she was through with her tale, Giselle let out a long, heavy sigh, as though she had been holding it in for some time. I thought I could hear just a faint trembling in the air she exhaled.
That is everything. Do you believe me? If you don't, if you still think I'm deceiving you, then I won't argue with you. That's fine. If that's the case, please just kill me.
Why didn't you tell me this sooner? I know I wasn't very open to anything you said, but if that day, when I found you in my room, You had told me I was mistaken, that the sin belonged to my father. It might not have turned out like this.
The knife.
What?
You were holding a knife. I can't handle blades anymore. Ever since what happened, they scare me to death. Just the sight of one in someone's hand, and I start thinking they're going to use it on me. I can't help it. I start shaking uncontrollably, growing faint of breath. The world goes white. I can't even form words. There's nothing I can do.
Ah. Now I finally see. She was grimacing in pain. The day the package arrived, when you knocked my hand away.
Because I was scared. Because it reminded me of that time.
Oh my god. I had assumed she was simply jumping from a guilty conscience. I felt nauseous realizing I had been pouring a constant stream of salt onto her unmendable wounds. What a damned fool I was.
Why did you get so upset at me? Why did you have to point a knife at me?
I didn't want you snooping. If you meant to sell information about me, I thought I had to do anything in my power to stop you.
I'm still not convinced it was necessary. I was unarmed. I couldn't fight back. You didn't need a knife. I have nothing left anymore, so I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. You're a jerk! What you did was inexcusable. You may not have hurt me physically, but you still hurt me. Humans are frail creatures. They wound easily. Apologize.
What?
Apologize to me. I said apologize.
I'm sorry.
Again. Put your heart into it. Convince me you mean it.
I'm sorry.
Again! Once more! Get down on your knees and shout it from your gut!
I am so very sorry! Was that a laugh?
Jeez. You're such a strange man.
Strange. You told me to do it.
Nothing's going like I thought it would. I figured even if we talked, you'd just deny everything I said. I didn't think you'd actually listen to me. But you did. You listened, and you looked quite distressed by what you heard.
I looked distressed.
Oh yes, you sure did. I wish I'd had a mirror to show you. I'm sure you didn't want to believe what I said, but you didn't once accuse me of lying. You faced up to the truth and you apologized. I seem to have had the wrong impression of you as well. I didn't try to see you for who you were, instead letting myself believe you were someone to be afraid of. To be honest, I didn't like you very much.
The feeling was... I shouldn't be laughing, but just that response. The feeling was mutual. But for some reason, I don't feel that way now. Is it guilt?
I need to apologize to you too.
Apologize? For what?
I led the villagers here. I almost sold my soul to the devil. I tried to sell you out to save myself. And for that, I am truly sorry.
I don't understand.
What? Do I need to get down on my knees too?
No, that's not what I meant. The blame falls on the village for falsely accusing you of stealing. You are a convenient scapegoat for the real thieves. They plan to take advantage of you from the start. That Amadea was probably in on it as well, to get back at you for rejecting his proposal. Plus, giving the village a single target to let out their frustrations on would, in a way, help unify them. He used you to meet that end. In order to escape from their trap, you told them about me. But this is after I had threatened you, causing you to flee from this place. You have nothing to apologize for.
Still, I still feel really bad about it. So, I'm sorry anyway.
You're unexpectedly stubborn.
But now that we both apologized to each other, we can call everything square.
Square?
Square. We were both in the wrong. So we apologized and we forgave each other.
She gave a little smile, but all I could do was stare at her, brow furrowed in perplexity, like I was looking at some bizarre fantasyland creature. The weight of our crimes was not equal. What I had done to her was so very much worse. Furthermore, I am Antonin's son. His blood flows through me. Can you honestly say you don't find me revolting? That you're willing to forgive me for that? I didn't think I would be able to. If I were her, my grudge would extend to all of my family, everyone I'd ever come in contact with.
I can. Although, you don't need forgiveness for being his son. Being related to someone who doesn't make you responsible for their sins.
She's right about that. She's painfully right about that.
It wouldn't be fair to blame you for that.
You're curious.
What? Curious? About what?
No, not that curious. You're a strange creature.
I'm human, you know.
Yes, I know you're human. You're making me lightheaded.
Is it a medical emergency?
That's quite the leap in logic.
You know, I was at my lowest just a bit ago, and now I'm laughing again. It's odd. I never expected I would recover at all.
I was just as surprised as her. She had been through hell and she had more than enough reason to despise me, to shower me with vitriol, but instead she was smiling. And even more unexpected was the fact that I felt relieved to see it. Oh my god.
I really truly wish I had gotten to know him sooner. Yes, I had fled from the mansion in fear of him, but maybe if I just had a little more courage, enough to tell him the truth, maybe he would have listened. I had let my initial impression of him solidify too quickly. I had convinced myself he was insensitive and perpetually expressionless, save for the Arctic stare. But the man standing before me did experience sadness, pain, distress. Or at the very least, he appeared to from where I was standing. Michel was just like me, an ordinary person. That said, there was still plenty I didn't know. I was still lacking explanations for much of his behavior. Would you mind telling me about yourself now? I'd like to get to know you better. What are you doing here in this mansion all alone? Why do you call yourself cursed? I told you everything. It's only fair you do the same. I have no interest in using your information for anything. I have no reason to. Or are you going to keep pushing the master and servant line? Do you still think I still have no need to know?
Be quiet, for the love of God! Stop talking already! You always pick the worst time!
What? Excuse me? What do you mean I always pick the worst time?
No, I wasn't...
Unbelievable! Just when I was starting to think you might actually be a decent human being. Then you go and spout this.
No, Giselle, I wasn't talking to you.
Who else could it have been?
I'm talking to... You know. I have a condition that forces me to vocalize objections to my own thoughts.
You know, that's about as convincing as my allergic to people excuse.
Sorry.
Weirdo. What crosses did he bear? What secrets did he keep? Maybe the truth was far beyond my reckoning. And if it was, even if he did, please, tell me everything. No matter what you say, I won't doubt your words. I will trust you, and I'm sure I can accept anything you say. Please. If you don't put it into words, I have nothing to work with.
Okay. Where should I start, though?
How about the curse then? Are you actually cursed?
That's a difficult question. I cannot, for example, take someone's life with my curse, nor can I bring about disaster. I don't have any magical powers like that.
So what you said outside was a bluff then?
It was just a way to chase the villagers away.
Well, you certainly put on a convincing performance. So you can't actually curse anyone, huh?
Regardless, I am human. Nothing more, nothing less. At least, I consider myself one. Although others would disagree. And the reason for that has to do with my body.
Your skin, hair, and eye color, right?
Right.
Seeing Michelle under the sun, he certainly wasn't what most people would consider normal. Awe-inspiring, in fact.
Giving birth to me, it broke my mother. No, I drove her mad. Not only do I appear inhumane, I'm oversensitive to sunlight. While a little light through the window isn't much of a problem, I can't be outside, directly under the sun, for more than a couple hours. When she realized I couldn't go out into the sun, my mother started thinking I was possessed by a demon. So she banished me to this mansion until my curse was broken.
Really? To me it sounds more like a case of, I don't know. I think I brought this up a couple times. I think I've already brought this up, but two possibilities come into my mind. The Marie Antoinette syndrome, which I believe is a sudden whitening of the hair, and just being born albino, which would explain the very pale skin and the reddish eyes. Perhaps a combination of both?
That was 10 years ago.
Just because you look different from them?
The family's reputation was at stake too. If all the nobles' houses realized they were giving refuge to an unholy creature, it would destroy the Bollingers. You saw how the villagers reacted. They called me a demon when they saw me.
I suspected the rumors about the mansion played a part in that. If nobody thought the house was cursed, they wouldn't have...
I'm sure you were afraid as well. You saw me and thought I was not of this world, that I looked like a demon.
I thought you looked like an angel.
Of what?
I at least thought you looked more like an angel than a demon. It never once crossed my mind that you might be evil. But I understand your situation now. Because of your appearance, you lived all alone in this dark mansion. For 10 years.
It was never really an inconvenience. They bring me all the supplies I need.
You big liar. Have you never even considered running away?
That's not an option.
Because of the sun?
No. I could move during the night if I really wanted to. I'm being watched. To ensure I don't leave.
Watched?
They can't allow anyone to find out that I'm alive. Particularly at a Bollinger estate. If I were to run and they were to find out, I would probably be killed. If only I didn't stand out so much, I might be able to stay out of sight easier. But also...
Also?
I had been holding on to a little hope. I think. Hope that I might be able to return someday. I have all but given up that hope now, though. Not that I ever had enough willpower to really fight for it.
I see.
You don't need to worry about pitying me either. It's long since become normal to me.
That's not something that should ever become normal. So, what was that really a moment ago? You don't actually have a condition that makes you argue with yourself, do you? Please tell me.
You don't have to believe me. In fact, I doubt you will. You're free to think I'm completely mad.
Don't worry. I want to know.
I can hear the witch's voice.
The witch's voice?
It started when I first arrived at the mansion. No one else can hear it either. And like I said, it sounds crazy.
Not at all. I said I would trust you, so I believe you. Maybe he's not well. Yeah, that has to be it. 10 years all alone in one place and you're bound to start hearing things. He seems like a delicate person, too. Thinking about it like that, I'm starting to feel really sorry for him.
Do I want to know what you're thinking?
I'm here for you.
Huh?
I've made up my mind. I'm going to stay here with you.
Wait, what?
Don't worry, I'll shout so loud you won't be able to hear that silly witch's voice anymore.
Will you now?
If you hear it again, just let me know, understood? You don't have to be afraid.
I never said I was...
Whenever you hear it, I'll be there with you, holding your hand. Well, we kind of took the extremely long route, but there you have it. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Master.
Master.
Now, where should we begin? I know, supper. Are you hungry? What should I make?
Slow down, please.
What is it? If there's something you'd like, I'm happy to accommodate.
You actually intend to stay here? Again? After what happened last time?
Because of what happened. Because of that, we're finally able to see past each other's surface. I wanted to try again from the beginning. And this time, I actually tried to be considerate of one another's feelings. That's a promise, Master.
All right.
I can stay here, right?
I don't mind.
I'm glad to hear it.
Say,
Yes, Master?
if you ever want something from me, could I please ask you to put it into words? I don't have much faith in my ability to pick up on things.
Got it! Then here's something to start with. What'd you say we open some of these windows?
Open the windows?
Yeah! We don't have to if you think it'll cause you problems, but it would be nice to get a little light in here. I'd like to put an end to this house being a dark, closed-off cave.
I wasn't the one who barred the windows.
You weren't?
They were like that when I arrived. It made it seem like a very appropriate place to lock me away. While I'm sensitive to light, yes, as I mentioned, a little sun through the window shouldn't cause any problems.
Alright then. Can I ask you to help me open them? Let's both line this place up.
Oh my god.
After a few moments of silence, Michelle gave me a curt nod. While we couldn't do anything about the windows that had been boarded up, the two of us forced open the ones that were just covered by rusted-over shutters. When we got the first one open, a beautiful stream of light like nothing I'd ever seen before. Flooded into the dark mansion's halls. I had assumed that spring would never come. All we had to do was talk to each other, listen to each other, and everything else would fall into place. But it was that first step that was so hard, so much harder than either of us had expected. And now that the ice was melting, we had to treasure that. It might not have seemed like much to someone else, but to us, it was a huge accomplishment.
Yeah, I bet, considering all the shit that we went through. Jesus! Okay, that's actually where I'm going to end it. Oh my god, that was stressful. That was stressful, but finally, it was somewhat, it had a somewhat satisfying resolution, somewhat. The two finally began talking. Okay. First off, where's Yukimasa when you need him? Because we need Yukimasa to go slay an entire village here, okay? Well, specifically that village. Then we can invite him, let him live in our basement, and he'll basically become our bodyguard. Oh my god. That was hard to sit through, and I got so okay, I'm going to go ahead and apologize for not really commentating that much. I was getting so wrapped up in the story. I just kind of got so focused, like, I don't know. I will apologize that I had hardly, just no commentary whatsoever, and I'm going to apologize for that. Ugh. That always seems to happen when I get so into a story, and I don't. Damn. I still feel partially nauseous from the torture that Giselle was put through, honestly. Also, that dramatic pose of Michelle was, besides terrifying, also glorious. But that's where I'm going to end it. So if you guys like this, be sure to let me know. Oh god, that was so hard to sit through. Oh my god. But okay. I know it's going to get worse, I bet. I know it's going to get worse. But finally, it seems like Michelle and Giselle finally took the right first step, even though it took them quite a lot of trials and tribulation to even get to it. Just by, talking to each other. I'm not going to blame either side on this. Because, one, Giselle had possibly one of the worst things happen to her. It makes perfect sense as to why she couldn't bring herself to talk about it, because it was so traumatizing. And I kind of understand how Michelle acts. He's been 10 years, for crying out loud. He's had hardly to no human contact. Of course, he wouldn't be able to pick up on a lot of stuff like that. It's still inexcusable, but I can understand where he's coming from and why he acted the way he did. So that's where I'm going to end it, like I said. Thank you guys so much for watching. I freaking like this. I really love this novel. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.